we have a newly crowned CAE, VJ Menor. VJ is also the youngest Duck Scholar, and he's working for the Sports and Fitness Industry Association. VJ loves the sports industry so much that he moonlighted as Buster, the official mascot of the Lakewood Blue Claws minor league baseball team, the Philly Fanatics' cousin, and he also was a hot dog that threw, you guessed it, hot dogs into the stands. So you've got quite a resume there. Although he's not into cosplay, and if you don't know cosplay, Google it. He has dressed up as Cookie Monster and as Elmo and Jake the Pirate, all for his nephew's birthday party, so you're not afraid of the stage at all, are you? VJ's getting married this October to the love of his life, who didn't know his name when they first met, but that's a story for another night. Please welcome VJ Menor.
So, before I actually start, for those of you thinking that this is going to be a show about 24 and how Jack Bauer saves me and saves the rest of us each and every day, this is not that. Recently, my father passed in September, and I wrote this for him, and I had presented it at his ceremony. So this is something that I wrote for the family, just so you guys know, because I'll be mentioning it. I have 3 older sisters, 2 brother-in-laws, and 6 nephews who will all be in here. So if I had 24 more hours with my father, the first thing I would say is, let's go to breakfast. Let's go to your favorite diner, and you can order that corned beef and hash that you loved. Breakfast was always my favorite meal with you because we could always talk about our days and recoup and regenerate. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would say, don't worry about mom. Don't worry about mom, because there are 12 of us right here that will keep her busy and keep her distracted and let her know what's going on in your lives. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would ask him if he remembers the time that we helped build Melita's 6th bedroom in our 5-bedroom house. We built it in the basement, and you let me help even though I was 5 years old. And we were able to turn that house into the only 6-bedroom house in the neighborhood. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would ask him if he remembers the time that we picked my sister Marge up from 9/11. Marge was on the 51st floor of one of the towers of that building and happened to make it out. We didn't hear from her the whole day, but I remember going to breakfast with you and picking her up at Perkins and talking about how thankful we were. And if I had 24 hours with my father, I'd ask him if he remembers the time that he flew me and Michelle out to Las Vegas, actually LA, just to drive 4 hours to Las Vegas. Tell you what, I had a stomach virus that weekend. There's no better place to have it than in Vegas. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would ask him if he remembers the first time he took me to a sports game. We had 2 tickets for 3 seats, so I had to sit on his lap all game. The Mets were down 5-4, but it made me realize that's what I wanted to work in for my life. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I'd take him to lunch to Burger King. Not the fanciest places, but I still remember his order. It's a Whopper Jr. with no cheese. And we'd have it, and we'd sit and talk, and just eat all that. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would ask him if he remembers the time that he taught my fiancée Molly how to use chopsticks. He was so proud that day. And even though he won't be with us in October, I know he'll be there in spirit and just hope that he gives us good weather because it's outside. And if I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see one of his traits in each and every one of his 6 grandsons. You can see all of them right there, all their faces. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see his generosity in his oldest grandson, Xander. His generosity is able to help anyone at the drop of a dime, willing to help anyone. Xander's only 11 years old, but already he's volunteered and he's done so much for his community. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see his curiosity in Luke. The same way that he broke down a computer in 1992 just to see what was inside, Luke's going to ask me a ton of questions about your passing and how we can get your favorite hat back to you. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see his pride inside of Logan. Logan is honestly willing to fight anyone or anything that gets in his way or feels like something. Believe me, I'm his godfather, and it's the toughest one to crack. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see his sense of humor inside of Bradley. Bradley likes to tell jokes, and even though I can't understand them most of the time, it always makes him laugh. It's the most important, and it always made my father laugh. And if I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see his intelligence inside of Leo. On the day of your passing, Leo will be inside trying to tickle your face, knowing that's what always woke you up from your naps. And if I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that I see his leadership skills inside the youngest one, Tyler. Tyler will be the first one crawling to your room, trying to wake you up and let us know that something wasn't right. If I had 24 more hours with my father, I would take him to the favorite steakhouse inside Brooklyn. It's called Peter Luger's, and you get a sense of the pattern that he liked red meat. Trying to tell. But we would have the juiciest, most tender steak, and that would be my final meal with him. And if I had 24 more hours with my father, I would tell him that his favorite song got it exactly right with the words, "You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run." And if I had 24 more hours with my father, I would say thank you. Thank you for always having my back. And even though we didn't say it because we were men, I'll always and forever love you.